Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target morning show where we invest with fire precision on a daily basis. Today, we're talking about Cathie Wood and her recent purchase came out yesterday of DraftKings. DraftKings is a stock that I love. I've been holding it for some time. We made a ton of money on it. And the question now becomes, do you continue to hold it here? Do you buy more like Cathie Wood is? We're going to pull the chart out and take a look at that. I'm a big fan, so you can probably guess the answer is yes. I'm thrilled to have a bunch of it. I'm not personally going to add more, but if you're not in this name, this is a thesis you probably want to participate in, and DraftKings is a good way to do that. In addition, we're going to talk about identity theft. This has happened to me, actually, my wife, where we got an IRS, says all of a sudden we get a letter saying we owe $60,000 for some income that she had. And it turned out to be not true. But anyhow, if you have identity theft situation, there's certainly things you need to do. So I'll tell you about my experience. We'll look and see what Investopedia says, and we will go from there. But I just had a client have that happen to him in one of their brokerage accounts, actually. No money moved, fortunately. But somebody tried to get some money out, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right, as far as the trades today, longs, first of all, the market's hardly moving today. You notice the futures are flat. They've been flat all morning. Nothing really is going on. Waiting the Fed meeting minutes later today is kind of the thing that will probably move the market next. But for trades this morning, we'll take a look at I don't know any of these companies, but AREC and ASTC are both moving higher with a contract and earnings stories to go with them. And then short is the EEH. I don't know them either, but they're dropping about 10% on earnings as well. All right, so that's what we have for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell if you want to come into the room, join us live. It's $25 to come on in. Got a chat window and a Q&A window for you to join and ask questions. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here is the lineup card for today. Let me update it real quick. We're on the 25th of August, Wednesday. August almost is done, and kids are almost probably all back in school at this point in time. But welcome to this is our lineup card for this morning. Standard disclaimer applies. We are going to make sure you do your own diligence before you act upon anything here in the show, and check out full disclaimer information available at OTOTnow.com. All right, mission objectives: grow our money, protect our money, live off our money. Today, we're talking about growing our money through the thesis of online gaming. Basically, we're going to take a look about, it's legal in so many states right now. It's becoming more and more legal as we go through here. If there is another lockdown or pandemic sort of thing, this allows people to participate in sports, not just watch sports. That a lot of these things like the Olympics went, without any fans in the stands. So if we get to that point again, people can participate by gambling. And there are some shows now. I don't know exactly one. I think Fubo TV has got one. And then I want to say NFL Network supports one where they're actually showing the game, and they have, side by side, you have betting odds, and you can actually, from your phone take live bets off of, prop bets, right? Betting on the next play, betting on that drive, betting, people love, the gamblers in the world love to gamble. So this is really literally giving, crack to crack addicts, if you will. But we want to take advantage of it, unless you're morally opposed to that. We want to take advantage of the thesis of it's getting more and more legalized across the country. And then we're going to take a look at identity theft. We'll type that in here real quick for our question of the day. And then as far as flow, it'll be long, short, open, short, long. We're going to take a look at the market review, headline review for long-term investments. We're going to look at DraftKings, and then BETZ, BETZ, which I don't really use that, but it's interesting to look at. That's the ETF. If you want to say, hey, Steve, I don't like individual stocks, I want to go through an index fund, BETZ is the way to do it. We'll go into the market execution. Contingencies and academic resources are standard. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at TD Ameritrade. Here's how we're going to be set up for the trades this morning. And I don't really think I'm going to take any of these unless they set up, but we'll see. I have two longs, the AREC, and then we have ASTC, you can see, and then we have RH over here dropping, but it's also showing some strength going in. So we shall see. All right, as far as taking a look at where we are in the market. New highs for everybody, right? So awesome. Let's just make new highs all the time. So we had this couple day sell-off back here. No big deal, right? And we're making all that money back. So what do I think will happen? Oh, gosh, you hit new highs. That means more new highs, right? So I think it'll continue higher until I don't think Afghanistan is affecting the market. I don't really think anything is going to affect the market until we get into tax reform. As you know from the headlines, the budget bill looks like it's going to be passed. So, maybe the Democrats move to tax reform next. I don't know. We shall see. When that happens, I do think we'll see some selling, but until then, it's just moving higher. All right, here's the 5-day look. Let's get the SPY back in there. SPY. There's a look at the climb. And when I talk about flat markets, I mean, look at the flatness for the past basically 2 days, just barely kind of creeping up, if you will. All right, let's take a look at the headlines on CNBC.com. Here we go, all the way over here. All right. There's 0.02, 0.04, and 0.06. Gosh, about as flat as you can get, right? All right, let's take a look at the European market. I think they were pretty flat as well. So yeah, mixed and flat. Asia, flat. So there's just not much moving in the world right now. Bonds steady, gold, oil, stuff's moving a little bit. Crypto's hardly even moving. It's usually moving 2 or 3% a day. It's not. It's just, barely creeping along. So not much for a Wednesday. All right. Here's the headline we're talking about that drove me to talk about DraftKings this morning. So ARK Invest, Cathie Wood buys $60 million of DraftKings. Is that a lot? Well, it's more than I manage, so I'd say, yeah, it's a lot. In the big picture, no, it's not a lot. I mean, it's not going to move the needle, but the fact that it is a sizable position, even for her. So the fact that she's putting that much money in it is really pretty cool. DraftKings has moved up 8% in a week, and of course, I think it'll move up on this news today. So we'll take a look at the chart here in a minute. All right, what else is going on? Retail's been doing pretty well across the board. For retail names, I'm not into Dick's Sporting Goods, but I think you can go into Target and Costco are probably my favorites. I'm not a big fan of Walmart stock. I do like Kohl's stock as the discount retailer over the Dollar Trees and things like that. I think Kohl's has a better management team, if you will. But all in all, I think Target first, Costco second, and Kohl's third. It's kind of how I play the retail space. And I don't have a lot of money there. When you think retail, you're not going to get you might get some upside, but you're not going to get that double or tripling like you've seen in some of the tech stocks. So if you're following another headline, so you're following this OnlyFans thing. So you can, both men and women can do it, but you set up an OnlyFans page and you do some stuff behind closed doors there, and you video it and you send it out, and people pay you a bunch of money. Well, that's kind of an attractive business model for a lot of young folks out there, and it's kind of popular and even growing. As a dad, that sort of scary thing, but anyway. If it's interesting, so it kind of stood up as a porn site almost from the way it was trending, and they banned porn yesterday, and they did a U-turn and said, nope, porn's okay, because like 80% of the material, when they did that, they found out, well, most of it's porn anyway. So anyhow, interesting for OnlyFans. I'm not invested in it, nor do I'm not sure you can. Maybe they're public. I don't know. Don't care. Not going to touch it. All right. Here's the budget bill and the infrastructure plan. So think it's going to happen. So that'll be good. We can get that behind us. Remember, that was supposed to happen by July 4th. Biden's approval rating. Yep, all presidents kind of go through that cycle. One bad thing happens and the approval ratings crater. I'm not too worried about that. As far as moving the market, I'm not too worried about that. Apple, 10 years to yesterday, I think, or today marks 10-year point for Tim Cook at Apple. Obviously, since he took over, I read the article this morning, 1,200% move in the stock in the last 10 years. And you know what? I'm heavy into Apple and I'm not moving. I think they can do that again in the next 10 years. That's how confident I am. There is a talk about when is he going to be in the chair. He goes, I don't have another 10 years in me. But he said, I need to make it through our next big project. Guess what that is? It's the Apple car. So 2024 is the target for that. So I think that will be his final product, and we'll see what Apple comes out with. You know what? I'll probably buy one. I buy everything that Apple comes out with. So we shall see. All right, let's take a look at DraftKings, the chart here real quick. So the question is, what do I do is if I have a bunch of this, do I buy more? If you have a bunch, no. If you have a little bit, you could double your position here, right? You had all this opportunity for the past 3 months to get in below where it is now, but you know what? It's not too late. If you can think about it, was up at $73 back in mid-March, early April timeframe. Do I think you can go back there? Absolutely. Now it's nice to have a price point that's not even on this chart as a long-term holder, but I do think it has room to run up to 70. Will be at straight line? No, there will be all kinds of drama along the way. But I do like it here, and the fact that Cathie Wood moved in is fantastic. Again, don't look so much down here because it's not going to be. You would not invest on fundamentals into DraftKings. You have to just believe the thesis. All right, give me a second to get set up for the day trading portion of the show, and I'll be right back with you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target play of the day. Here's the market opening bell. All right, we have 3 or 4 charts in front of you. We have the S&P 500 chart over here in a 1 minute, basically flat, but moving higher there in the first minute. We have one long AREC on a new contract move that they got. So that's an attractive thing for them, but low price point. So watch out. ASTC is an earnings play. So they have a chance to move higher. And then our short of the day is over here to the right. It's EH. And again, that's off an earnings. They beat, but they're still losing money and a negative call. So I'm more interested in trying to catch one of these long if we can, but we may not trade today because this is kind of tricky. We're down in the pennies, right? So you see a lot of charts that look like this where they don't move enough for you to be able to make the money. So we're keeping an eye on 3 things. So EH is down to 8%. If we cover the high of the day, 23.50, so it'd be 23.25 would be our entry. I'm not taking it here. I'm just thinking out loud of how you would take it if we were going to take it. I'm not confident enough in this thesis to take it, so just be careful here. All right, AREC is selling off. I'm going to back out, kind of see where that chart is. If I can do that, looks like I can't. There we go. I'm able to. Don't draw stuff. All right, it started down here at 202, 211. All right, so if you're dying to trade, we'll take this long. We need to just let it establish the low of the day. We're going to do a 3-cent stop, so it's got to move 9 cents from where it is. We're going to cover at 209, which puts our entry point at 212. So it's got to hold that 210 here. So again, 1 penny below the low of the day, and we'll see if it holds here. Again, this is AREC long. Okay, didn't hold, so we're down to 208 for covering and 211 for our entry. It's got plenty of volume. So again, waiting for 211 for that entry with the 208 stop at the bottom. If we don't get it, we're not in it. EH falling like a rock. That looks like it would have worked as far as a short. All right, we're still good here. If it flips long, 211 entry point. Not going to dork around too long with this, but we'll see what we can get here. I don't really have anything else to look at because other stuff wasn't moving this morning. Okay, now 207 is going to be our low, so 210 is our entry point going high here. Going long. And I'm just going to use these to surf on while we're waiting for that. See how K-Web is reacting today. I think it was selling off, to be honest, after the big move up yesterday. So yeah, I got all the way up to 51 yesterday, dropped down to 48 today. So you get lucking over here. LKNCY. I haven't really looked at it in a while. Should be mid 13 somewhere. 1375 after touching 1425. All right, so 207 is the low. And we're going to catch this at 210 going long. I'm not going to draw it till we're in it. If it hits 207, I'm going to stop dorking around with it and move on for the day. Okay, there's not quite yet, not quite yet. There's our 210 for the day. So take it long, AREC. It's pretty risky, but I do like how it's set up down here. So again, 210. So 1R is going to be 213. 2R is going to be 216. And then 219 is going to be the exit point that we're looking for. Probably take some time to get there, so we won't have it in the morning show. But again, your stop is down here at 207. All right, we get all this drawn, then we'll take a look at what's going on in the bigger picture. Okay, so there's your trade. It's currently in the red, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll come back to it in a second. All right, going over to what's going on in the big picture world. DraftKings lead on the top of the leaderboard at 2% as well. AMC meme stock is up. NVIDIA, AMD, so chip makers, Cyber's up over 1%. GoDaddy. GoDaddy is kind of interesting because it's pretty cheap here. I actually bought some the other day because of this. I'm trying to get to come up over here. It's not working. GDDY. So I got hit pretty hard. They were up well above 80. Let's just back up the chart here. I'll show you. So yeah, they were up at 80, 85 for a long time. They took this big hit from earnings from 85 all the way down into 72 or so. So is this a buying point for GoDaddy? Yeah, I believe so. I believe in the long-term theme. I don't think it's going to get hit like that again. So if you're looking to add, GoDaddy's where it's at. All right, so you can see what's selling off today. DD selling off after being up 10% yesterday. KWeb, Baba. So all the China names were up big yesterday. Look like they're selling off. MJ, the marijuana thesis, is selling off as well. Again, that's at a buy point. Palantir, CRISPR Therapeutics. So Roblox, a lot of popular names are in the red today after being in the green yesterday. So expect the portfolio to be in the red based off of some of those names out there. I don't think DraftKings is big enough to keep it higher. And I don't even see DraftKings. No, there it is, up 3%. So, all right, sounds good. All right, let's check our trade real quick, see if it's moved. Okay, we're in the green. It's up at 212. So again, slow mover, exit point's going to be 219. All right, let's take a look at identity theft real quick. Okay, identity theft, what to do and who to call. So quick story on what happened. We get this letter in the mail for us, and it's a, hey, you owe $60,000 in taxes. I'm like, okay, cool. Not really, right? Because I'm pretty on top of things. So I would like to think that I would not be surprised by the IRS by screwing something up in my taxes. So I'm like, okay, let's look at maybe why you think that. And the good news, bad news is Irene there was a tax form that said that she had made $220,000 last year. So I was kind of, I'm proud that she was making that kind of money. But since I know nothing about it, I'm kind of scared about what she would have to be doing to make that kind of money. And me not even know that she's working. But anyway, so it was, she was actually installing floors in Florida, which is pretty impressive, right? Because I didn't even notice she was gone, right? So obviously it was a fraud situation. It's in a weird way, we actually knew who it was. And I called the company. They should not have answered, but I called this company in Florida and I'm like, hey, I've got a tax form for my wife here. I just want to confirm some of the information. And, yep, confirmed it was my wife, and, and the social security number and everything matched. And of course, she coughed up the name. She's like, this isn't right. This is actually so-and-so. And it's like, haha, thank you. That's all we need. And so we contacted the IRS first, and the IRS said, we can't do anything until you file a identity theft with the local police. So we went down to the local police station, which is kind of cool. It's like never really done that before, right? Like, let's go down to the police station. So we actually walk in, we called, and they said, you need to come on down. So we walked in the police station. It was like, okay, first time. Usually see those things on TV. And then we had to fill out the identity theft form. And then we got an IRS agent or case officer. I can't remember exactly what they were called, but anyhow, that just started working it. And in a weird way, it took about 2 years because in the middle of this, I deployed to overseas, right? I'm in the Middle East. And with the IRS, you have to do everything in writing, just good time, right? So there will be no emails or phone calls, right? But there will certainly be, you write a letter and mail it. Well, in the Middle East, that's like 2 weeks, right? Back and forth of the mailing time. So that's pretty cool. But they finally said at the end of it, of course, there was the what we owed in taxes, and there's the late fee. Well, they took away what we owed in taxes, and they said, okay, you only owe $7,000 for the late fee. And it's just like, you got to be kidding me, right? Because there would not be a late fee had there not been this fraud. So they had to battle that, and it went back and forth for about 2 years and got cleared up. But as a military commander at the time, I had to walk into my boss and say, hey, I've got, this thing going on. The IRS is coming after me, all those things you don't want to hear because there's like red flags you look for when you're have an employee. So, but, it didn't affect the career at all because it was fraudulent, but it was something I didn't really want to have to deal with. But, we'll see what identity theft has to do. A lot of folks are trying to file your tax return early and get your refund. So that's a thing that's been going on for a while. You can use a LifeLock and identity theft. There's some things you can pay out there. I don't personally. I don't know if they're worth it, but if you're concerned, then do it. I do like using credit cards because of the limited liability of them. You can challenge a charge, so that's kind of nice. Reporting fraud, you report it to we reported it to our credit reporting agencies, and I think we either got free reports or something locked, or I don't remember exactly what it was. But there was some service that was out there, and we actually got a letter in the mail of all the things to do. So, contact your local police department and file a police report. You can change your social security number if it's widespread. We did not go down that route. We knew who it was. We kind of knew why he did it, sort of thing. And some other things for you to take a look at here, but I'm not going to go into that. All right. So that's all I got for identity theft. But if you have any questions on it, certainly if you're a client and you think you have that situation, give me a call and I can kind of walk you through it. All right. We're going to look back at our trade because it's 1 penny from actually hitting this morning. So let me share that back out to you. All right, so here's our trade of the day. Again, we entered at 211. We had put a lower stop down at 210, so that's 3 cents. So what we need is a 1, 2, 3-hour move up to 219, which is not quite there yet. So it looks like I'll have to paste it in later, but I'm pretty confident it's going to hit it. So stay strong, even though you're up 2-hour right now. This chart is looking fantastic for it to hit up at 219. So I'll chop that video later when it happens. All right, with that, all I've got for you today. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. You have a good one.